When it comes to leadership, what if I told you that many preconceived notions you may have are false? That is according to a new book and the behavioral scientist who wrote it. Think the best leader is an alpha CEO? Not exactly. Think the best team is made of the smartest people in the room? We've all heard that, right? By the way, that's a myth too. Behavioral scientist and New York Times best-selling author Jon Levy spent the last 15 years meeting with all different types of leaders, from Olympic medalists to prime ministers, Nobel laureates, and CEOs who've all crushed it. In his new book, Team Intelligence: How Brilliant Leaders Unlock Collective Genius, he dives into what makes that leadership work and what does not. Jon, good morning.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Great to have you.
It's so great to be here. I was just telling you, I was reading this book while on vacation, so my pages are all crinkled with pool water and maybe a margarita or two. But it's fascinating because you debunk a lot of myths that people have. Before we get into those myths, how did this idea come about, and what does it have to do with dinner parties that you host?
So this is going to sound super strange. For the past 15 years, I've been convincing people to come to my home, cook me dinner, wash my dishes, and clean my floors. And oddly, they thank me for it. I know it sounds weird.
How did you manage that? That's what I mean.
So I created a dinner party where 12 people are invited. It's completely anonymous. Nobody knows who's going to be there. And then they cook what can only be described as one of the most mediocre meals of their life. And when people sit down to eat, they find out they're with Olympians and astronauts and Nobel laureates and the occasional prime minister and princess.
Wow. And then you study the dynamics. How does that help you write this book?
Well, what happened was that if you look at like the traditional interpretation of leadership, they say there are these essential skills that everybody has to have. It's like 10 or 12, and you can go to Harvard or something to learn them. But when I looked across these 4,000 people who've come and cooked me terrible meals, they overwhelmingly didn't have these skills, right? What makes Malala an incredible leader is fundamentally so different than what makes the CEO of a major company.
And what is that? Because there is this stereotype that it's the alpha leader who takes no prisoners and rules with intimidation.
So it turns out that that's a really kind of funny story. Around 1970, a researcher was studying wolves and found all this research that says that wolves dominate and control, and that's how they lead.
Wolf pack, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The alpha wolf, the alpha leader. And so wrote a book about it called The Wolf. It became wildly popular, and executives used it as an excuse to dominate. In 1990, he repeated his research and found out he was completely wrong. It just looked that way because it was child rearing. It was wolves taking care of their young, and they didn't want them to run off and do things like that.
So you open the book with this blast from the past, a replay of when the NBA All-Stars lost to a team of college players with less experience, less talent. And it's a reminder of the fact that talent does not always win the day. So, I mean, the New York Mets thought so, and they lost, right? So I agree with you. Why is that? Why is putting the best people together not automatically going to make you the best team?
There's this thing called the too much talent problem. Researchers found that when you cross about 50 to 60% top talent, people's personalities get in the way. Big egos and people become selfish. And the fact is that if we're going to function as a team, it means that I sometimes have to give up minutes on the court or a few lines when doing a pitch. We have to work together towards that common goal. And big personalities, unless we have a way to mitigate them, end up kind of becoming a problem when there's too many of them.
Interesting.
That's how we're safe at under 50% of top talent. Okay, so we know what top leaders are not, and that's alpha leaders. What are they? I mean, what are the qualities that you find actually leads to success?
So here's what's interesting. The only common thing we found across all leaders is one thing, that they have followers. And that's kind of silly and self-referential.
Feels like a tautology.
Exactly. But
A what?
a tautology.
Tautology, it's a thing that proves itself by going in a constant circle. He would probably define it better.
So smart.
So I'm really impressed that you know that. Yeah. When we started studying what actually causes us to follow someone, it was something really kind of weird. Do you remember when you were in high school, it's about 6 p.m. on a Sunday, how you felt, the Sunday scaries? Yeah. Notice you're completely free, but you feel anxious. Friday at 1 p.m., you're locked in class, but you are so excited. Human beings don't relate to the present, they relate to the future they think they have. And the reason that we follow someone is that they emotionally make us feel that the future will be better.
And when you say a follower, you mean, you're not talking about social media, you're talking about people that believe in the leader, right?
It's the person that goes along with them. It could be on social media. People are following on social media because they think the future will be better and more entertaining, or maybe they'll learn something from an influencer.
So a leader is someone who helps others feel the future is better,
Going to be better.
is optimistic.
It doesn't have to be optimistic. It just means that when you interact with them, you go, wow, if I go along with this, I'll be more successful, healthier, more effective, richer.
With national politics, voters are followers in your definition.
Yeah.
Giving their vote is a big deal.
Yes.
So how do they make that decision? Do you have any advice based on what a good leader is?
So I want to emphasize, this will only cause people to follow you. It doesn't mean that you'll be great at it, right? So if I were a politician, and I'm very much not into politics, the key is to understanding that your goal, if you want that vote, is to make people feel that you will give them a new future. If you are providing the status quo, just things are going to be the same, then people aren't going to want to engage with that because they want something better. That American dream, right? That my generation will be better off than the previous one.
I mean, that's what politicians do so well.
Yeah, that's true. Jon Levy, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're going to bring takeout to the next dinner party. I hear it's bad. It was great company. That was today's By the Way. The book is Team Intelligence. It's on sale tomorrow wherever you get your books.